earlier on Dibal, when Jakoyo was narrating his escapades with the police, when Wamatangi wanted to, condole or just feel sorry for him, I took my time because I was measured. I wanted to first understand what are the circumstances. That's his side of the story. I'll preserve my comments on whether to apologize to him until I hear the version of the police.
Of the police as well.
Because I know Jakoyo's mouth. The minute it begins to run, he disconnects his brain. And that is what he has just done 5 minutes ago. Because when you were discussing about a very important issue of this conman, somehow he found it as an opportunity to round anything and everything about the DP. He has said this and that. Jakoyo, I've always reminded you, be careful what you say about others. Because what you say about others, other people say about you as well. And I've told you none the less than your colleagues. And I've always reminded and pointed you back to that day in Parliament when Duale and Badi wanted to set up a select committee and had proposed you as chair to check on these sport betting firms. You remember what your colleagues said about you. Those
are things. I want to say more because then we'll end up.
Are we going off the rails? Because we're not digging down.
No, we need to remind Jakoyo that we don't wake up to come here at 6 in the morning to come and spew abysses on other people. I can also choose. No. I can also. No, Dibal, give me my time, please.
Okay, please, okay.
You are quiet when Otiende was speaking.
All right, side.
Okay?
Okay.
We don't wake up at 6 in the morning to come and call others thieves. If you think William Ruto is a thief, do you need bus fare or do you need a lift to EACC? Please go and report him. But don't come and reduce and cheapen this show to become about abusing each other. We are always all measured. We hear things about people, but I think we owe it to common decency, Dibal, to behave in a particular manner. That's why I think most of us, actually everybody on this panel, carries the title honorable, because that's how you're supposed to behave. On this particular issue that you're discussing, my good friend Otiende, Otiende, you're my good friend, and I've always told you this, that I admire the way in equal measure you rise to the gold standard, but how sometimes you also fall to cheap levels that are beyond you as a person. Because some of the accusations you make, I know you to be extremely thorough. This incident is reported that immediately these people left, these men left the office of the deputy president. They were arrested right on Arambe Avenue. So when you come on telly, and these are facts that you know, but you choose because you want to play politics to say he should have been the first complainant. He was not even in the office. Where was the time to make this the complaint that you want? And the reason why some of us are arguing for objectivity, Dibal, is because how we lose it as a country is that every time there's an issue of this magnitude, we just want to play the political side of it and not be objective and establish facts. If we were a serious country, and the reason why we are not solving most of our problems is that we never get to the root cause of these problems. By this particular point, if the statement from these foreigners who have been conned is that this con person appeared in military attire, it would have been established where did he get this particular attire. If it is true as they allege that they were driving around with police outriders and military vehicles, it will be good to give us the number plates, and help us as a country run our systems and understand. Because today it might be a conman who is driving in town with military vehicles. Tomorrow a terrorist may do the same. Therefore, in a serious country, we'll be establishing, and the IG will be giving information who are the people that are given clearance to drive on our roads with this kind of clearance. Number 3, we'll even be giving other instances of how people who've been conned through these particular games and how we stop this from happening. But because we just love to play politics and want to end it at that particular time, we will go quiet. Tomorrow another headline will come. We'll laugh about it. Perhaps this time it will be Otiende who will be on the receiving end. I'll be here happy, celebrating, say, oh, give us the sparks. Why are you always associated with this and that? And we never get to the rock bottom of this particular story. Therefore, when we call for objectivity, it is not in defense of anyone. If it was another Kenyan who was on this particular headline, I'll still say the same things, because some of us are consistent in the things that we are saying.
All right.
Well, let me short rejoinder. First, I want to tell my friend, Senator Cheruiyot, in this panel, we always talk and laugh. So don't be so pained. Senator Cheruiyot is almost crying. We don't need to get there. Let's keep where we always are. We talk about serious issues, we laugh, you know. Let's lighten it up. You know, in any event, I didn't hear Jakoyo call you or Dr. Boni Khalwale a thief. So let's lighten it a bit. Secondly, unfortunately, what you and especially Dr. Boni Khalwale is doing is continuing exactly what I talked about, diversionary. When Boni takes the opportunity to say, oh, Raila was found to have been involved in some gold scam, found where? I am not aware. Found where? By whom? When he says, oh, he should have, he said he should have taken time to advise Wetangula, those are diversionary tactics. You know, anyone who does not want to answer a question or cannot answer a question will always seek diversionary tactics. We are all intelligent. We know what we are trying to do. Please don't take us there. Let's just focus on what is. And if you want to say that don't blame the DP, blame his handlers, say it. Don't go around the world looking for other things that can distract us. Secondly, Dr. Boni Khalwale says, and Senator Cheriot actually tries to repeat, when I complained that how come no one, not the DP, not any of his handlers ever complained to date, then Boni says, oh, you know, he went on Twitter. There is no such thing as Twitter police station. There is no police station on Twitter. Any complaint in this country must be filed in a very specific way, not on Twitter. So, please, let's stop the diversionary tactics. But I have a more fundamental issue, yes. Dibal. I was just thinking, looking at some of these pictures now that these people went, they're inspecting very heavy military equipment.
Just a moment. Let him finish.
Well, no one has said they are. Maybe you have inside information. You should report also to the police station because no one has denied them, to the best of my knowledge.
I'm trying to help.
There are pictures of them inspecting military equipment. According to the complainants, you know, some of these boys seemed to understand military equipment. I mean, what if it's actually not a scandal? Maybe not an attempted fraud. What if actually somebody was trying to bring in military equipment in the name of the government to make it just enter easily? What if that is true? You know, because as we are looking at all these possibilities, I mean, who would do that and for what purpose? So I think this matter is so serious that we should not trivialize it by bringing Raila, Wetangula, I don't know what. Let us, what we do is say what is clear is that there was clearly an involvement and they accessed the office of the deputy president, what is supposed to be the second most protected office in this country. How they gained entry, what was the purpose, who they spoke to, all those must be investigated without calling people names, without bringing into question panelists like Jakoyo. And, you know, we don't need to do that. We are not doing ourselves any favor. Let us get to the bottom of this issue. And let us get to the bottom of any similar issues so that, because at the end of the day, when we become a hub for this kind of thing, it's not just one individual, it is the entire country. And that is something to be avoided.
Okay.
Yes, just a small rebut, but nothing personal. Let me tell you, my brother Otiende, I know it might be difficult for you to accept that some of the people you don't agree with politically also deserve respect. Do you know at what age I started being trained to think scientifically? And the same way with the CELI? As early as the age of 16, in the good old system of O and A level. There is no scientific fact that can allow the mouth to speak without backing with facts. We do not have the flowery language. We are guided only by facts. Look, everything I have said here, I've backed it with evidence. Not that that evidence is correct, but as it was reported. Let's take, for example, the issue as raising about Twitter. You can only dismiss Twitter because you are analog. But the modern world, Twitter and all other parameters of social media are tools of expression. In fact, the same criminal investigation department has a Twitter handle. It is called what? It is called odpc@kenya.something. Jakoyo, allegations should not be the reason for you to think that Ruto can steal water. An allegation was made about a borehole on his farm. And the same press has reported to us that after investigations were done with the manager, it was dismissed that there were no illegal connections. This repeated desire that you have, that Ruto should be arrested and possibly be jailed, please confess to the public that the reason why you're doing it is not because Ruto is a bad man. You would like him to be arrested so that he is not Raila's opponent in 2022. That's all. If he was not your cousin's opponent in 2022, you would be calling him the good names you used to call him in 2007 when he was campaigning for Raila. Let's call a spade a spade. Finally, but not least, I think Otiende helped me here.
Are you sure?
DOD, the Department of Defense, I don't know whether it is right, but we've seen it on social media, just like we saw the Deputy President on social media. DOD has also come out on social media and dismissed all these allegations. Why is it acceptable to you that DOD can express itself through social media, Twitter and so on, and you think it is criminal when the Deputy President does that? Let me tell you. Let me tell you the final point. The final point. Let me tell you. Sooner or later, even if they don't want, there is something Eseli calls the law of natural attrition. These older politicians will take their exit. We are the ones who will move in. Let us not hero wash them to the extent of telling Kenyans that if our time came and we took over, we would just be a photocopy of who the ones they think are bad leaders are.
All right, Kimani Wamatangi, we need to wind up.
Yes,
briefly.
on the same matter. I think I made myself clear.
You made yourself
clear. Because
okay.
Dibal, okay. Now that I have the floor, so you can't take it away from me just because I said I had made my views known. I can elaborate like everybody else has done theirs. Because to me, this boils down to something very simple. Very simple. I think we are belaboring the point, in my view. We don't need to gloss over it beyond that. The facts are simple. There are people here who are on all the newspapers as having been arraigned in court already as criminals. So that's a fact. Number two, there has been admission from none other than the DP himself. He said, these people came to my office as criminals. And what we are saying is, what he should do now is, for what he has done to label them as criminals, then disassociate that these are criminals on their own. I believe he even did that, and I wish that were clear. And then lastly, is if these fellows found their way into his office via or with the aid of anyone who is in there, those people must be fired by him publicly. When they are fired by him, then this will definitely go the way he himself has stated. Number three and number four, and that's my last, is have security, have checks, such that at no other one time are people of that nature and caliber able to access that office. Because then there has to be complicity between the security checks and those that allow people in, such that people can come and have that leeway to maneuver around the office. That should be blocked. And then this becomes a story that ends there. For all those that are involved, we would want to see. We would want to see justice being meted out, such that does not just become another big story that has finally no end. If Echeza and his crew are guilty of having conned these people, they also must face the law. Because this conmanship also is becoming a major issue, not only to international clients or investors, Dibal, also to locals. How many scandals have you counted lately? Remember, this fellow who was residing somewhere in Karen, there was a big scandal the other time when they had conned some people, including conning churches of compensation money.
Right.
And so we must bring this to a close.
Okay. Yeah. So you were talking of pictures that are actually Photoshop. So maybe we can actually put up this particular picture of Echesa This is in Poland inspecting that. You think this is a Photoshop? And this was in Poland, and alongside him also is
Who took the photo?
DP Ruto, right? So, but this is in Poland.
What evidence do you have that this is Poland Dibali?
No, I think
Just a moment.
Give me one, since I'm quick to respond to the photo.
Yeah.
Why we have to be very careful about these photos and what have you, is that there is so much fake news going around in connection with this scandal that maybe we could only accept after forensic experts have spoken, up to and including this thing. Go to page 5 of the Nation.
No, let's focus
Well,
on this.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
comment on this.
It is on page 4 and 5.
No, the one on page 5 is different.
Look, it is.
That's different.
It sits on 5.
No, that's a different picture.
Okay.
You've not
Have
looked
you
at
given
this
me
one.
the mic? Yes, I have. So to show that we need forensic experts to
Actually,
believe.
it was Jaco's time. It
Yes.
was not yours.
Yeah, to show that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is Jaco's time.
Yeah,
We'll
but
give
you have already given me. I'm making the statement to show that we need forensic experts, dear colleagues. On the same page, if you read the second last paragraph
Of
on
the Daily
page
Nation.
5 of the Nation, this woman, Maureen Kaka, is telling us the court also heard that the 4 intended to defraud and deceive Bruno, and they received 11.5 million from him. They intended to receive a total of 39.5442 billion. Listen to that. Billion. Now, so if the contract was worth 49 billion, was Bruno coming to pay Echesa and Co, or was Bruno bringing equipment so that he receives that amount from the government of Kenya? This is rubbish.
It's Jaco's time, and then
This is rubbish.
just a moment.
This is the original photo.
No.
Of what you're giving us as Photoshop.
No. We want to.
This is the original photo of what you're giving us as a Photoshop.
Jaco.
I don't have it on my phone.
You know, Dibal, you can't change this show to that level.
Senator
By the way,
Chero,
by the way,
no,
Dibal,
in fairness.
we can leave this show for you.
No,
we
Senator.
can leave this show for you. If you get to the point of picking cheap photoshops like what you're doing,
But we
and
have-
bringing
we have
this
these
photos
photos
in the
in the
other
Daily
things
Nation.
to do.
Reacted-
My friend, here is the original
But how
photo.
do you know that
How
this
do you
is
know?
the- how do
This
you
is
know?
the
How do you
original
know?
photo.
No.
How my friend,
Wait, just a
Can
moment.
we
My
see
friend,
the photo that he has?
let me ask
Just a
you.
moment, just
Let
a
me
moment.
ask you a simple question.
Yeah.
This is a company that manufactures this thing. On their website, they have this photo. Somebody went and took this photo and put the face of Echesa. Then you are here showing to the country as if it's an original.
where is the
You are
forensic-
not
where
telling
is
that
the
this
forensic-
Dibal.
Just a moment.
It is from
Go to the website of the Poland company.
It is from the
Just a
website of
moment.
that
No.
company.
No, Dibal, you are being
Just-
cheap.
No.
You are being cheap, and I will walk out of this show.
That's
Dibal,
right.
Can I say
you
something?
are being
Just a
cheap.
moment.
Can I say
You are
something?
being cheap.
I'll just
Dibal.
put it there.
Senator Chero.
No.
That
We
is
want to
nonsense
subject
of the highest
Can I
order.
say something?
Yes,
Why
please.
How can you say that? Just-
But it's my time to
just
talk.
saying something here. I'm just saying something here which I think we need to take seriously. We in Africa have got this problem of easily falling into personality cults. And in the process, we become very ardent supporters of certain causes. And we can go to the extent of even getting violent about it. I think we need to relook at what we are doing. One, in our politics of such a multi-ethnic society, personality cults are not good. And apart from that,
What's about values? Don't cheapen some of us. I'm not
Okay,
saying
okay,
because of an
I've
individual.
not even finished.
Let him finish.
No, but the line you're taking is as if we're doing this for somebody.
Then in that case, I'll even be very, very bad. I'll say
There's no problem.
what we are
Just a
seeing
moment.
now is the outcome of the Hustlers Nation.
Yes. Let me say something about
Hustlers
the
Nation.
photo, yeah? I think, Dibal, you had asked about the photo.
Yes.
It is very simple. First, I don't know why Senator Chero and Khalwale are getting worked up. I mean, why are they getting jittery to the point that this is becoming a quarrel? We have always maintained a culture. However, however much you object to what somebody is saying, let them say it. Then you have your time.
No, but
including, even now,
But it's
Senator
getting to a
Chero,
point
please,
that
hold
it's
on,
bad.
hold
It's
on,
being
please.
looked at nonsense.
Hold on.
Let him finish.
You see,
the results of our
the
Hustlers
point is that clicking, intervening at every, you are reducing the show. You don't need that. What I wanted to say about the photo is this, including the one on Nation, is that it is true that sometimes there can be photoshops.
Yes.
But you don't start by saying it's the obligation of the person showing the photo to bring forensic evidence. It is the person denying first to deny. Echesa is in this photo and the one that was shown. Has he denied? So who are you to say it is a Photoshop? First, he must deny.
But he has pleaded
Then
not
second,
guilty in
no, he was not charged with taking that photo. Doctor, he was charged with a different thing.
We need to wind up.
So who are you to be so worked up that and say it is false? Let us be reasonable.
All right, we need to
Now, lastly, I think now we make our closing
No,
comment.
we are stuck for time.
Okay.
We will continue next week.
No,
We'll continue next week.
no, I've not said anything. You know.
30 seconds each of you. 30 seconds.
No, it's not 30 seconds because
It is possible
5
to
minutes.
take a photo of that.
All right, we need to wind up.
Another
Jacob,
Tell the producer.
Don't just be cheap.
all right.
If
Thank you.
somebody went to Dubai,
Jacob, just close it. Aaron Chariot, please. Just a moment. Let's close the show. 30 seconds, 10 seconds actually. We are closing.
not 10 seconds.
10 seconds, Jacob Video.
No,
10
if you're
seconds.
going to give me 10 seconds, I'm not saying that.
All right, 10 seconds.
Because you know what is happening? Why we are scared of a Ruto presidency is what you are seeing here.
10 seconds.
Now,
10 seconds.
I must talk because these guys, they can steal from the public and steal continually.
All right, we need to wind up.
And we
Thank
can
you,
talk
thank you,
about
thank you,
it.
thank you. No,
Yeah,
right, we need to wind up. No, we'll continue the show next week. Thank you very much. Continue the show next week. We'll never...